It still remains an emerging technology. But will the next 12 months finally be the time when the true value of cloud computing is realized? Well, one person who certainly hopes so is Duncan Bennett from VMware Australia. He's joining me now in the studio. Duncan, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Feels like you can't turn around without hearing about the cloud, seeing billboards on the back of buses about the cloud. Is the cloud living up to the hype, simply put?
I think it is, and I think last year was probably a tipping point for cloud in this country. We saw a plethora of small and large companies set up infrastructure, from the largest telecommunication companies to the smallest startups. So this is becoming real, but like most technology changes, there's a little bit of hype that comes with it.
Yeah, but when it comes to some of the businesses that are still holding back from really taking up the technology, what do you think it is that's really keeping them on the sidelines?
I think what people are looking at, you've got to look at cloud like any technology or any way of adopting technology. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? We run a survey every year, an annual maturity survey of cloud through Forrester, and the number one result from that survey, the number one concern is actually not security, it's data privacy and where is my data. So there are, with any new technologies, there are always some concerns, as well as some advances and advantages that flexibility of cloud can provide.
You mentioned it, the investment that's needed to get into the cloud. I was speaking with Dave Stevens from Brennan IT, who did invest heavily last year. So what is the type of investment that we're looking at that still needs to be done in terms of the cloud here in Australia? Well,
it varies. So it's public knowledge that Telstra are spending $800 million building their cloud for Australia. Brennan IT are a good partner of ours, and in fact I was in Darwin not that long ago speaking to a small 50-person Australian software company who have built a cloud for the Northern Territory. So it's nice to see some of the innovation happening locally in cloud as well as the larger multinationals.
So what are some of the challenges that we're facing in 2012?
I think the challenges are, I think the world is changing. So in the world of mobility and cloud, these things are coming together. Our users want to access any device, through any device, any service, anywhere, anytime. So I think mobility for businesses is becoming a big issue that's helping accelerate cloud adoption.
And are PCs sort of passé? Are they on their way to becoming obsolete?
Well, Steve Jobs certainly used the words, the post-PC era.
Okay.
They're certainly obsolete with my 3 children who are in their early 20s, so we are seeing a generational change. Yesterday's papers talked about tablets being the fastest adopted technology in the history of technology. So I think people are demanding mobility, they're demanding different types of devices, and from a business point of view, to attract the new workers, you need to be able to provide flexibility of device, access to whether it's an internal or an external cloud. So it's certainly changing.
When it comes to some of the challenges, just back to that for a moment, is risk mitigation sort of one of those red flags as we look forward? Yeah,
yes it is. And I think when you're approaching cloud, certainly the external cloud, you really do need to think through the risk and what data are you putting where, and who is that cloud provider. Again, there's a wonderful story running right now in New Zealand where a German national in New Zealand has just had his cloud website in the US shut down by the FBI, impacting millions of customers. So I think as any business, you would do your due diligence on any technology, and you need to do the same with cloud.
So what are, that's the risk of being on the cloud, but what are businesses really risking, in your opinion, if they're not using this technology?
I think there are 2 types of clouds, obviously internal and external, or sometimes called private and public. Many businesses are developing that cloud infrastructure themselves internally. What are the risks of not doing it? It's a far more efficient way to access resources. It's going to save you money, and I think efficiency is going to be a catch cry for many businesses in 2012. It's around time to market, competitive advantage. You can bring applications and usage on the cloud up to speed much faster than traditional ways. So I think efficiency and also time to market for many new businesses.
And you anticipate a busy 2012, do you?
It's going to be a very busy 2012. We just released earnings and it's all good, and we continue to see it happening.
All right, well, good luck with everything. Duncan Bennett, thanks so much for joining us.
Nadine, thank you.
That's Duncan Bennett joining us from VMware. I believe we are taking a short break now, but coming up in the next half hour, we've got our expert panel on just how you can create your own tech startup and, of course, make it a success. Back in a moment.
At Real Insurance, we give you 5 real promises.
We'll make sure our services are easy to use and understand.
We'll give you choices so you get insurance that's tailor-made for you.
We'll handle your claims promptly and efficiently, and even give you your own claims agent.
We'll give you our undivided attention.
And we'll exceed your expectations whenever you deal with us.
These are not your average promises because we don't believe in giving the average service.
Call Real Insurance on 13 19 48.